Good morning, students. I hope till now you have understood the topics clearly. So let us proceed further. So my first question is, can matter change its state? So today we are going to discuss about the change of state of matter, the effect of change of temperature and fusion, melting point, vaporization, boiling point, freezing, freezing point and condensation. So let us proceed. We all know from our observation that water exists in three states of matter: solid as ice, liquid as the familiar water, and gas as water vapor. So, what happens inside the matter during this change of state? What happens to the particles of matter during the change of states? How does this change of state takes place? We need answers to these questions, isn't it? So, we are knowing students, physical state of matter can be interconverted to each other by the following two ways. That is, by changing the temperature and by changing the pressure. So let us discuss the effect of change of temperature on the state of matter. Let us get the answers to our previous questions. So for getting those, let us do one activity. So effect of change of temperature. Take about 50 gram of ice in a beaker and hang a laboratory thermometer in it so that bulb is in contact with ice. Start heating the flame at low flame. Note down the temperature when ice starts melting. Record your observations for conversion of solid into liquid state. Now put a glass rod in the beaker and heat while constant stirring till the water starts boiling. Keep a close look at the thermometer reading till most of the water has vaporized. Record your observations for the conversion of ice into liquid water and then into vapor state. So what do you observe, students? So you observe that when temperature of the solid is increased, the kinetic energy of particles increases. So what we can conclude from this observation? We can conclude that due to increase in kinetic energy, the particles start vibrating at a greater speed and overcome intermolecular forces of attraction. A stage is reached when intermolecular forces become so less that ice changes into liquid. When temperature is further increased, a stage comes when liquid changes into vapor. You can see from here these two experimental setup. This is the conversion of ice into water and this is conversion of water into water vapor. So let us proceed further of the effect of change of temperature. So first one is solid to liquid. So we are knowing on increasing the temperature of solids, the kinetic energy of the particles increases. Due to the increase in kinetic energy, the particles start vibrating with greater speed. The energy supplied by heat overcomes the forces of attraction between the particles. The particles leave their fixed position and start moving more freely. A stage is reached when the solid melts and is converted to a liquid. So we can define the melting. The change of solid state of a substance into liquid state is called melting. This is also known as fusion. Now we can define one more term, that is melting point. That melting point is the minimum temperature at which a solid melts to become a liquid at the atmospheric pressure. Melting point of ice is 0 degrees Celsius, or in Kelvin that is 273.15 Kelvin. So let us proceed for liquid to gases. On heating, again, we are knowing that the kinetic energy of the particles increases, and due to the increase in kinetic energy, the particles again starting vibrating with more greater speed, and as we are supplying energy in the form of heat, this overcomes the forces of attraction between the particles, and then particles leave their fixed position and start moving more freely. And then a stage is reached when the liquid gets converted to gaseous state. So the same phenomena, just liquid to gaseous state. So we can here define vaporization, another term, that is the change of a liquid substance into gaseous on heating is called vaporization. Now, one more term is boiling point, the maximum temperature at which a liquid boils and changes rapidly into a gas at the atmospheric pressure is called its boiling point. Boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. Now next, gas to liquid. On cooling a gas like steam or water vapor, the kinetic energy of its particles is lowered down, causing them to move slowly and bringing them closer, forming a liquid. So again, here we can define condensation. That is the process in which a gas on cooling turns into a liquid at a specific temperature is called condensation or liquefaction. Moving further, liquid to solid. Now you are knowing that again when a liquid is cooled down by lowering its temperature, its particles lose the kinetic energy and come to a stationary position, causing the liquid to turn to solid. So again here one more term can be defined, that is freezing. The freezing is the change of liquid substance into solid by lowering its temperature. One more term is freezing point. So the temperature at which the state of a substance changes from a liquid to a solid is called the freezing point of that substance. So these are the changes of state of matter by the effect of change of temperature. We will discuss the effect of change of pressure in the next class, students. So what we did today? Today we have learnt about the change of state of matter, the effect of temperature on the change of these states, and by learning the effect of temperature, we have defined following terms, that is fusion, also known as melting, melting point, boiling point, vaporization, condensation and freezing point. Thank you, students.